Welcome back, and to continue with celebrating Christmas and with the visit of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the Cathedral of Nativity in the new administrative capital to congratulate the Pope and to congratulate all Egyptians on the occasion. We are very much delighted to have with us via phone Dr. Nadia Zakhary, former Minister of Scientific Research. A very good morning to you, Dr. Zakhary, and Merry Christmas.
Good morning, dear, and thank you so much. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year for all of us.
By the way, personally, I was very happy to know that you are going to be my guest even via phone, because it's really a wonderful occasion to speak with you and to congratulate you on Christmas first, and to speak about yesterday, because yesterday it was the 10th time President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was keen to go himself to the cathedral to congratulate not only the Pope but all Egyptians on the occasion. How do you see this, Dr. Zakhary?
Thank you, and it's my pleasure to be with you today and to say good morning to everybody and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and to say that it is a very great occasion and a very great moment when the President enters the cathedral. You don't know how all of us are very happy, and we are waiting for this moment. And as you said, it is the 10th time, and it shows how important that Christians and Muslims celebrate each occasion, whatever it is, the occasion like Christmas, like New Year, like Ramadan, like any religious or national occasion. We celebrate it together with all the love and honor and respect to each other. People were very, very, very happy, as you saw, when the President entered the cathedral. They all wanted to shake hands with him, but of course he cannot shake hands with all the people. But how nice he was with all the people. His words were full of love and full of what I want to say, hope.
Deeply hearted wishes, if we can call it this way. But also,
exactly.
Dr. Nadia, the President and the Pope, in fact, were very keen to mention in their speech Gaza and the people in Gaza.
Yes.
Even in the time while we are celebrating, we all, whether the political leadership or one of our top religious figures, which is the Pope, of course, they renewed the Egyptian stance that thinking about the Gazans and to continue on the same path of giving the utmost support to the Gazans in this very difficult period of time, it's very significant and sending a lot of messages. Would you please elaborate?
Yes, I deeply agree with you. And we cannot forget our neighbors and our brothers and sisters in Gaza and their pain, and relieve their pain by giving them some support as long as we can. But we cannot let them come to Egypt, because if we let them come to Egypt, as the President said, this will finalize the Palestinian problem, and we don't want that, of course. We want them to take their land, to live in their land, to live in Palestine, but we cannot forget their grief now. We are always remembering their grief, especially, you know, when the children are waiting for the Christmas and to have the gifts from Santa Claus, and they cannot get it. They are under the buildings, and the dead children, is very, 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 really, very bad situation.
Yeah.
And the President and the Pope cannot forget this pain and this suffering of the Palestinians during our celebration for the Christmas and the New Year. So we are all of us praying for them. We are offering them. We cannot forget giving them water, medical supplies,
and inshallah, one day we are going all to celebrate our feast in Beit Lahm itself, in Bethlehem.
Yes.
Well,
we are
Doctor,
hoping for that.
Inshallah, in the near future, inshallah. With our prayers, as the Pope said, that we are all extending our prayers to God Almighty, whether Muslims or Christians, to achieve this and to witness this together. Also, the President was keen to express his personal appreciation and full respect to Pope Tawadr's stances all over the years And in very critical moments in our modern history, the president was keen to say that the Pope wrote his name in the history of Egypt with his brave stances and all for the best of the country. How do you see mentioning that? And by the way, of course, this is not the first time.
Of course, we cannot forget what has been done at the 30th of June and how the Pope and the President were in this moment together, and what happened to the churches. The Pope said that Egypt without churches is not like or a national, I want to say, Watan without churches is not good, but we cannot say that we are in grief. We can pray in the mosques, we can pray anywhere, but he didn't let the people, the Christian people, make any grief that time, and he was standing with the Pope in the moment of the 30th of June, as you remember. So this made a sort of a very good relation between them, and they love each other really. And we took many opportunities to renew the churches that were burned and that were ruined down, and many churches were built at that time of the President Sisi. So there are many benefits that happened to the Christians at that time, many benefits that happened to the women at that time, many benefits that happened to us. And even if there are many or are some drawbacks in the, I want to say,
in history,
the prices and of the things, but we can afford this to have all the other opportunities that we took.
And to echo what you have just said, Dr. Nadia, the president was keen also to renew his call for all Egyptians to enjoy unity together and to enjoy this bond. And he said that without this bond, we can achieve nothing. With this bond, we can achieve miracles.
Exactly. Without this unity, we cannot achieve anything. This unity is the most important thing that we achieved at the time of the President Sisi and Pope Tawadros. And even unity between all the Christians, like Catholics, Protestant, and Orthodox, unity between Muslims and Christians. We are living in the era of unity between all the Egyptians now. As you see, we didn't hear the voices that don't say Merry Christmas, it's not right to say. We didn't hear it this year. Or this time, this era, we didn't hear this.
Dr. Nadia, the birth of Christ in the Holy Quran, it's an occasion for happiness, for joy.
Exactly.
The angels themselves were already singing, Al-Magdu lillahi fil a'ali, glory is to be to God. Ala al-ard salam, peace be on earth, and بالناس المسرة, people to be happy. This is what we all believe in. And we are all Copts, whether Christians or Muslims, we are all Copts because a Copt is an Egyptian.
And I agree with you, and I agree that the only verse in the Quran which has the name of a woman is the verse of Maryam. And I know how much you love Maryam, I know how much you love Jesus Christ, I know that. So all the other voices, we don't give them any respect. All the opposite voices, we don't respect their ideas. I know that Muslims like the Christ, like Maryam, the Virgin. I know that very well, and I know there are many verses in the Quran talking about that. I'm sure of what you have said. And this is what our President Sisi feels and believes. That is why his relation with the Pope is an excellent relation.
Yeah.
And we are very pleased of that.
Well, Dr. Nadia Zakhary, former Minister of Scientific Research, thank you very much for your input. Merry Christmas to you and enjoy the feast. Well, by this we come to the end of our episode, but there is no end to our unity, to our bond, to our sense of belonging to Egypt, to our sense of love to each other, to accepting the differences, accepting the other, and live as one. Well, with all my love and with all my wishes to have a Merry Christmas, this was Nermeen Abdurrahman.